Hey guys, Adrian here. In this video, I'm going to show you the pattern drawer settings and how to change them and how to create new patterns. We pre-built 6 different pattern templates, which are the cipher, the bat, the Gartley, butterfly, crab, and shark. These are the most commonly used patterns, and that's why we built them in. But you can build your own, and I'll show you in just a second. So, if you don't want to use one of the patterns, all you have to do is just click it off and you don't have to use it. So for example, if you don't trade the cipher or the bat or the Gartley or the shark, or maybe even the crab, you don't need to use it. You just click make it false and it's not going to show up. Okay, now let's go through more settings. Pattern number 1, well, first of all, you can give them a custom name. So if you have your own custom pattern, you can give it a name. Now, the next settings are going to be about the retracements or extensions and stuff like that. So, the minimum B percentage is the minimum B retracement because most patterns have a range for the price to come in. So, it must range from 38.2 to 61.8. If you want to be completely specific, so if you want to hit just a 61.8 and that's it, because I know some people actually trade the Gartley by very precise, it has to hit the 618 and that's it, period. If it goes a little bit above or a little bit below, that's it, we don't trade it. Then you can put 61.8 and 61.8%. It's going to be very hard to find a pattern that way, and that's why most people use a range. So if it retraces in between 38.2 and 61.8, then it qualifies for a cipher or any pattern that you're trying to accomplish. Then the C completion type refers to if the C completion type is either an XA extension or AB retracement. So the XA extension is the impulse leg, which is the X to A leg. If you extend that further down, then you must go past the A leg. If it's a retracement, then it's in between the A and the B for a retracement. Now, since this is an extension, the minimum C is 127.2 and the maximum C is 141.4. If it goes beyond that, it doesn't qualify anymore. This pattern actually has a fixed D point, meaning that it completes specifically at 78.6. That's where you place your entry. Patterns such as Gartley, they have an entry range, and I'm going to show you in just a second. Then the decompletion is an XC retracement, and again you have a drop-down menu showing you can have an XA retracement, a X extension, a B extension, depending on what pattern you want. This one's the completion for this is at 78.6, and then we go into the stop and target values. Now you can have a stop target fixed above X, you can have it fixed above D, AX extension, CX extension. Again, you can play around with these and you can find the values that best suits you. We put a 10 tick above the X. That's what we use. Now the target type, again, you can play around with this. You can have a CD retracement, AD retracement, and so on and so forth. And you can have a total of up to 3 targets. On this one, we're only using 2. So if you're only using 2, just make the other one, make the last one 0, and that's not going to plot. So you're going to have 38.2 and 61.8. If we scroll down to the shark, we can see that in the shark we have 3 different targets: 38.2, 50%, and 88.6. In the crab, we have 38.2, 61.8, 127.2, and so on. Now let's have a look at the multiple completion, and that's going to be for the Gartley, we said. With a multiple completion, you can have a decompletion in between one zone. So for example, we're getting the XA retracement at 78.6 and 100%. You can either just use one of those, and you have the use second decompletion false, or you can have a range. Using the second decompletion, you also have options with AB extension, CD extension, and so on. So when they have 2 completions, you have one of the zones is like this and the other zone is like this, for example. Now to grab the minimum, and this is a little bit tricky, but to grab the minimum, you have to get the maximum of the two lower ones and the minimum of the two higher ones. And this is going to be your zone. It's a little bit tricky, but we have a drawing in our support material that is going to explain this a lot better. And that's it for the decompletion. Now we have some communal settings like snap to bar. What the snap to bar does is actually snap to the high or the low of the bar, depending on where your pattern is and how you want to draw it. So if it's a bullish or a bearish, what sort of completion point it is, and it actually snaps to the bar. So that way you don't, you get the exact values. You don't slip up by 1 or 2 ticks or anything like that when you're trading a higher time frame. What I'm using here is as a 1 minute. You don't necessarily need a snap to bar. The next setting is the opacity, line thickness. If you want to show the names, the font. If you want to show the fibs, again, the font. Show the pattern names, show entry stops and targets, show the entry, then the entry colors, second entry color, and all that jazz. This is just to beautify it, and so you can have as much creative freedom with this indicator as possible. And that's it for the pattern draw settings.
Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you like its content, then please hit the like and subscribe buttons on YouTube, share it to your social media, follow us on social media, and I'll see you in the next video. Have an awesome rest of your day until then.